Hello, everyone. I'm Manish.
Hello everyone. Hi Prabhat. Welcome. Thanks for joining. I'm really excited to get started today. Let's give a couple of time for our attendees to be online and then we will get going. Having a coffee moment, Prabhat?
Yes, that's very much needed. So, enjoying my coffee. Yes. Nice.
Super. Coffee
Um,
with AI.
yes, that always remains. That's irreplaceable. So, we are ready for our new session. Um, and I'm very happy to be here for this session. Shall we get started, Manish?
Sure, Prabhat. Let me take baton here. So,
Mhm.
hello everyone. Very good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to whichever part of the world you are. Today is a continuation of our last session where we learned about how to install the open source models to our own laptop and run them without any dependencies on those providers. So essentially, running these model on our own without any network or internet, without any subscription, and leveraging the power of AI under our own control. For that, we had Prabhat, our expert, who's leveraging AI on his everyday work to share insight, and your host, Manish here. A bit about me. I am an experienced architect and I am hosting this session to benefit the AI education, democratizing for all our students. For that, I'm handing over to our expert, Prabhat, without wasting any more time. Over to you, Prabhat.
Thanks, Manish. Thanks for the intro. Hi, everyone. I think we can switch over to the slide view, and I'm very happy to come again in this session to walk you all with open source models and how to make them run on local machines. Okay, so let's get started with the topic without any delay. A little bit about myself. I'm a seasoned architect working with Rabobank. I'm also the founder of AI for All Global, and I'm also a conversational leader in Gen AI community at MIT. I'm very focused towards responsible AI and applied innovation aspects. I try to bridge enterprise implementation together with education and open AI communities. I'm very passionate about making AI accessible, ethical, and practical for everyone. These are little bit things about me that gives me energy, and you can connect with me on my LinkedIn, which is here, and let's get started with the topic. So today's topic is 5 minutes for recap. I will go through what we discussed earlier last week, and next we had some really interesting queries from our audiences. We tried to answer some of them during last session, but we could not do all. So we have picked two very interesting queries, and we'll try to cover them in detail. Then we will also focus today on no coders a lot. So the Msty, we will try to build a knowledge assistant without any code for those who don't want to code, who want to do things quicker. Additionally, we'll also go through a deep dive on LM Studio, which is yet another powerful tooling, and we'll see what can it do. And then later on, we'll cover a bit on how can coders make use of local models. How does coders make use of it? And that's just scratching the surface. And then we'll go towards the Q&A. So without any further ado, let's move on to the recap. Last week, we touched around why running AI locally is empowering, and we looked on certain aspects on the data privacy and the and many other factors, cost and other challenges. Why we should be doing why running AI locally is much more beneficial, POC, and many other aspects that we covered. Uh, we also covered how to deploy a foundational model locally through Ollama, uh, which is the gateway to local large language models. Is the most popular solution and most easiest one that takes hardly 2 minutes to get started. Um, we also drew parallel to Ollama with containerization to relate it with developers how the packaging of software happens today. Something similar Ollama does, wherein it packages the LLM and makes it easier for you to just make use of it, so you get the model so easily. Uh, then we also did the demo wherein we looked at how to set that up, and it's really as simple as it shows downloading the Ollama software. Earlier, it used to be only CLI, but now you can really download it. And then just getting it installed, we had demos and we interacted with the model. And it's really this simple, wherein you can get a Google model through just Ollama pull Kema 3, 12 billions, 12B as in the size of the model. And then on similar line, executing the model and starting to speak with it. So this was the demo that we worked with. We also looked at how can we create our own custom LLM. So you get the model and then you can customize it for your own needs. Uh, Thereafter, we looked at Msty, wherein we had some interesting demos. Looked at how people can make use of Msty to do a lot of stuff locally with local models. We had demo on how can Mishti interact with Ollama and help you work as if it's your own chat GPT on your laptop. We also looked at how models behave differently when you have offline versus online. That was interesting, asking weather and some other information. Uh, then we had the comparative view on the models, wherein we saw that how different models behave differently for certain questions, and how can you make use of Mishti to make a feel of it. For example, a smaller model and a relatively larger model. If you wanna throw same question and see how deeper the answer is for the bigger model in comparison to the more smaller model. So those things we looked at it, and that's pretty much the scope we had covered during last session. And as I said, there were some interesting questions. We picked up two queries from part one of the session from attendees. The first one was from Rajiv Gupta, and the question was, an AI model that is so small that it can run on my laptop, can it really compete? Will it not be inferior? Is it suited for POCs only? This is a strong question, and we thought it's important to go through it and have some explanation to us that although part of it we covered, but we can do a little bit more deeper look at it. So this is not the first time I'm hearing this question. It comes all the time, and there are some myths around it. Okay. Local is not really always inferior. It's about what do you need, right? Many a times there's a saying in from older world that something that needle can do, you don't need a hammer. Uh, but there are many such aspect to it. So local is not really inferior. It's just about what is more important to you. What is your use case? You are not building model just because model is fancy. You want to run a business, and what is important for the business. That's more important than knowing what is the model. Okay. Cloud is not always better. That's a misconception people had that if cloud is there, then that's the best one because it comes with everything. Okay, it knows everything about the whole universe. While my question is just about my shop, so do I need to know the universe? So right choice depends on what you value most. Okay, whether it's speed, privacy, cost, customization. Okay. Then what I did, I tried to capture some of the key factors which really matters. It basically tries to extend upon the previous slide wherein we captured what really matters. So the four dimensions that are really most important ones are the privacy, speed, latency, cost, and frugality, which is also very important in many aspects of as a design principle. A colleague of mine reminded me last week after this session that, hey, you were talking about frugal AI, and that's true. So that's another very important aspect as we are going into a much more climate sensitive environment. We need to be sensible on what kind of solutions we are building. So we need to not just think something that is really nice. We also need to see what is more practical, what is good for the universe, what is good for our whole world. Okay. And similarly on customization, how much customization do we want? That's another dimension. Okay. Because if we are looking for smaller models and our own use case, we have much more control on customizing things than uh, than if we stick with the models that are available from hyperscalers, the bigger providers. Okay, so so those are the bigger topics or factors that really define. To make it much more clearer for it, I went a step forward. So really show some examples because what I have experienced, the examples are more relatable than the statements. Okay. So I met last month at United Nations somebody who was building a solution of tutor robots, and that's very interesting because and his target is rural places where you do not have coverage of internet, and even where it is, and the tutors want to have a private experience for the students. They take this device which works as a Wi-Fi router, and they keep it there in a room filled with 20, 30, 40 kids, and they all connect with that specific router. And locally, they get connected through that app, which is powered through a model which is sitting on that specific device. Okay. It's very powerful because then you can make such education available to remote areas. Similarly, healthcare. From privacy region, you do not want everything to all the time going to the internet. Blind man assistant. This wonderful use case, Glidance, the company which is building a very nice utility for blind people who can walk using this AI powered stick. Okay. The important bit is you cannot be reliant on internet. That if internet is not there, then blind man cannot walk. That cannot be a choice, right? So, so if you build such solutions, it's very important that those solutions are self-sufficient. They run completely without internet. They should be able to, and they should be able to be deployed on smaller systems because you cannot have a data center like OpenAI to deploy some a small scale machine these are some very interesting use cases, and And that's yet another reason why you must you must go with smaller models and open source model or local models. With that, we move to the next question, and that is, which local open source models should I use, and on what kind of laptop? That's also very interesting because we touched upon some of the models, but we did not go into detailing of it, that which exact model can you make use of. Okay, and this question was from Andy on that specific aspect. So let's have a look. It's a very uh, yes, it's a very contextual and situational question because the models are getting evolved very quickly. So we'll try to give you a glimpse of it and an indication on how to find it, and that should be your starting point. For 8 GB RAM machine, which is typically used to be nowadays, most of the laptops are coming 16 gigabytes and above. So practically, a model that is 3 billion to 4 billion size is enough on those laptops. Okay. So things like Kema 3, Kema is from Google, or Llama, that is from Meta, Quen, that is from Alibaba. These models are good to run. And don't take me wrong, it's does not mean they are poor. So they are really good for many use cases. Okay, and we'll see some demos later on. Okay. Similarly, on 16 GB RAM, as you can go for 7 billion to 8 billion of size of models. So Llama 3, Kema 3, 12 billion, Quen 3, 8 billion. These models are very nice. Then on if you got 32 GB plus RAM of laptop, then good to go up to 20 billion or so. Uh, there are some models that can be even bigger. For example, on my own 32 GB machine, I run Kema 327 billion and it runs just fine. Okay. But if I keep pushing a lot of queries to it, then it starts showing a bit of slowness. Uh, but that's mostly okay. Similarly, GPT OSS, that is the Chat GPT open source model, then Quen 3 from Alibaba, which is these models are very rich, and don't take it as they are small. They are literally uh, larger models. Any model that is bigger than 20 billion of parameters, it's conceptually considered as large model, not any more small. Uh, Anything beyond this size, while it's possible, and many people do that, they deploy on 64 GB plus RAM, or the devices are coming nowadays where easily you can deploy. But mostly these models are for data centers. Okay. After this size, or if you are into serious thing wherein you want to run some serious model, then you can go for Llama 4 or DeepSeek R1, 70 billion, and so on. The largest model at the moment available on open source model available on Ollama is DeepSeek R1, 671 billion size. This is as good or pretty much closer to the ChatGPT's latest model, which is considered to be closer to 1 trillion parameters. Okay. And the size of this model is 404 gigabytes. And if you run it, you're gonna need about 1 trillion, sorry, 1 TB of memory space on your laptop. So that's about the models and which models are good. How to find it? It's more convenient that you go into Ollama.com, search, look for the models, and usually they are categorized into cloud, embedding, vision, tools, and thinking. In most cases, earlier it used to be mostly the text models, but nowadays multi-modular multimodal concept is very popular. The models are coming with text capability at the same time, vision capabilities is becoming pretty much common. So you can have a look and see those models and try to pick the model based on parameters that I said earlier. Okay. So that's about models, and it's a topic which takes a lot of time. We can go into a lot depth in this topic, and there are many aspects to it to understand models. What does context mean? What is the token? What is embedding? And how do I really think this model is good for me? All those aspects are there. So we'll not go into it. Uh, Perhaps something for the next time. So if you want a session to deep dive on how LLMs work, their key characteristics, how the embedding works, what is token, how how tokens are defined, what is context handling, all these things, they are so fascinating topics. If you are interested, please give a thumbs up to this question, and we will plan a dedicated session for this topic. Just to give you a glimpse before I move on, because I have something open. So this is the way models store text in it in a multi-dimensional space, and this multi-dimension is like thousands of dimensions. Typically, you hear in your conversation two-dimensional, three-dimensional, and we are talking about thousands of dimension in which models store data, and that's what is embedding. Similarly, there are other concepts. I will not go into it in interest of time, but if you are interested, please give a thumbs up, and we will get back to you with a dedicated session on explaining LLMs and how they work. Okay. That gives me that covers our topic on the two interesting questions. Then we can get back to our original topic, which we have been discussing, and Msty, our favorite tool that we looked at it. Uh, and what we're gonna do now, we will build a knowledge assistant. Yes, you heard it right. We'll build a knowledge assistant on top of Mishti, and that could be very handy for people who are non-technical or even technical. I am technical, but I love it to do that. Okay. So demo time. Let's get to it. I hope you all remember this UI, which is for this client is for Mishti. And what you saw here is empty chat window. Bottom, you can choose the models. You see, and these are all the models. You see local AI. So these are models that are stored on my laptop. Okay. So this is the Kema 3 we talked about, Quen 2 maths. This is yet another thing connecting to my previous topic, that these smaller models are often also connected with your very specialized for certain topics. So let's use Kema 3. I really love the Google model for many things. Or let's do Llama. That's also nice. Okay. And now our goal is to build one knowledge assistant. Okay. And just give me a second. Yes. So what we're gonna do, this model, Llama 3.1, was released some time back, I think few months back. And we got and this whole system is not connected to internet, right? Here you see it's not connected to internet. But and I want to demonstrate how knowledge assistant works. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna ask questions around Nobel Prize, which was distributed just a couple of days back, and I'm pretty sure this model does not know it, right? Because it cannot know it because this model was trained some time back. So let's and then next what we're gonna do, we will create this knowledge base, and then we'll see if we are able to ask questions about Nobel Prize and things on that. Okay. So let's say we're gonna do a question. Who won Nobel Peace Prize 2025? And let's see what it comes with. When you do first time calling, the model gets warmed up because it's not running. So it may take a couple of seconds. Usually it's fast. And certainly after first question, it will be faster. On, where is it? I'll just have a look that Ollama is working. Ollama is working. Yeah, the Llama 3 model is working fine. And we have got Llama 3. Is it also working? I'll just have a check. The model is up and active. Okay, yeah. So this is working. Let's see what's going on here. Perhaps sometime it's a good idea to close things. It's so fascinating, the name Msty. It's whenever I try to open Msty, it opens me. It opens me. Come on, what was that? Uh, Anyways, workspace directory is empty. No worries. I go to regular chat window and I close my split size, remove chat. Okay. First, let's just see whether this model works or not. Okay, so the model is working now. There was some problem with the workspace. Workspace is a way of creating segregation um within this within this tool. So those who work with ChatGPT, they might have experienced the project concept, wherein you can create separate projects, and each project is isolated. For example, you do not want the work colleagues to be combined with your colleagues or friends at your club. And let's say for both of these, you have created separate project, and you want to ask similar questions, but your context is different. So it's good to create separate workspace for these things. And this left side, you see the workspace possibilities where you can create separate workspace. And it seems my workspace did not had a connected folder. Okay, that was the problem. Anyways, back to our topic. Who won Nobel Peace Prize 2025? And let's see what comes at the answer. And I actually like this answer, and see the models are getting much more smarter. Earlier, it used to be if you ask, it will give you an answer even if it did not know. But now models have learned that they can say no, and that's what you see here. I'm afraid that's a bit tricky. As of my knowledge, I don't know about it. So what to do? If I open internet, then it will find from internet, but otherwise it did not know. So let's do one thing. We set up a knowledge stack. So here on the left, you see something called knowledge stack. There are other buttons like this one, local AI model. It just shows all the models that we have. Okay. And recently they have made some upgrades so you can connect directly. You can even click from here directly, and under the hood, the model gets installed on Ollama itself. So it's not that it will install somewhere else, it will install within Ollama, but you get a UI here to see. So for example, Tiny Dolphin, if you click, and we'll get back to this one, it will install. Tiny, I did that because it's small, it will get installed very quickly. Nevertheless, so we were looking at knowledge stack. So we get back to knowledge stack. We come here and we say that let's do a knowledge stack for what is this Nobel Prize. Okay. So this is my stack where I will put all the documents needed for Nobel Prize event. And here you see embedding model and something for later, but it plays very important role in how the data is split into pieces, and the actual model or the large language model make use of that text. Okay, so let's do one thing. I got here three documents, and these three documents are basically, if I show you, I downloaded yesterday. It's a press release from Chemistry Prize, Medicine Prize, Peace Prize, the three prizes that Nobel Prize winners related. Okay, so I did this. I selected them. There's also some settings wherein I can say that how many chunks to use, how many splits to make, and how much similarity I need. Let's say I check highest, and then I do save. And once, where is my documents? Let's do that one more time. Okay. And then I should say compose. Okay. So now my knowledge tag saved and composed successfully. You can now use it for chatting. Okay. So similarly, think of it if I have a large financial documents or my annual statements, which I want to communicate with, and I can easily do that. I actually use Obsidian a lot, so I have connected Obsidian also in one of the place wherein I can communicate with all my text files that I write over a period of time. Uh, so that's how you create a knowledge stack. Once you create it, you compose it. Let's close it. And let's ask this question one more time and see how this model behaves. Okay, so it says that I think I need to reiterate that I don't have information about future winners. So let's do one thing. Uh, because these models are relatively smaller, so you need to sometime guide them a little bit. So let's say that use your, or it could be that knowledge stack is getting refreshed. So it still say that I don't have information about the Nobel Peace Prize. Uh, and you might be thinking, this is not useful. That's not true. Actually, I made a mistake. I did not select this option, Nobel Prize. So here is the place where you need to check in to make use of the of the of the knowledge stack. Then it starts working. Let's say I say I want to make it this. Then it'll work. I really hope it works. Now, this time it's taking some time. It did not simply put it out. Okay. Now, this time what it did, it really went into, according to the text provided earlier, Maria Corina Machado, who is a politician from Venezuela, it has received the award. Okay. So then it works if I create a knowledge stack and then if I set that up. So that's about how you can set up your own knowledge stack. And perhaps this is just scratching the surface. I want to trigger your thinking. You can do wonderful things with this, with much more complicated workflows. Let's move on. This is my favorite one. If your laptop could talk, what problem would it solve for you? And I'm really looking for some interesting answers. I hope I receive from users or the people joining in there. Please provide some comments there. And I'm looking at it, and I see someone saying Trump. Oh, he did not get it. Unfortunately, I think that relates to the Nobel Prize knowledge assistant topic. Um,
Prabhat, there are a few questions. Maybe same
mhm.
time you can take some questions about.
Yes, for sure. Let's do that. This is a good time.
So one of the question is that how which are the latest model and how frequently they are updated in open source mode. Yeah, we know the online one or app one are maybe the latest, or you need to update from app stores, but the one on laptop we download, what is the life cycle?
That's a very good question. And a counter question is, or the thing to look at it in case of models, you don't always need updated model. Okay, and I really mean it. What I'm saying. Okay, because unlike the traditional softwares which need to be updated with new information, right? What happens in case of these AI models? They are trained with the entire internet of data that's available. Okay, and they don't store it with it. They just generate consciousness with that data. So it's neural network that gets trained with it, and it gets a snippet of all that it has trained. Okay. Now, in majority of the cases, if you are asking objective question that who is the prime minister of XYZ country, okay, you should not remain reliant of on LLMs because it's just the memory system. It is just trained on the information. It is not a database. It is not storing it, right? It is a model which has built a conscious, and so what you can expect it that how to predict certain things. It is predicting, right? And for the prediction, it is already trained very well with a whole internet of data. What it is not known or where the advancement happens is on guardrails and how efficiently it answers certain questions, in what situation it safeguard people so it did not answer some terror question or something that could be dangerous for, or something could be racial, those kind of things. But I say that information is concerned, that's not changing a lot. Okay, and that is what we are seeing more in the models as well. But long story short, I took longer for your question. Sorry for that. But I wanted to give that perspective. Uh, the models are refreshed quite often, and in majority of the cases, the people who are bullish around open source model, they like to make use of these model to customize it or to enrich it with their own context. Okay. For example, if I am a doctor or I'm a bank, I take these one of the model and then I add context of my own bank and then I make use of it. Okay. So that's how these things work.
Thanks, thanks, Prabhat. Good insights. Some users are asking how frequently these sessions are. So we are meeting every Saturdays, same time, live. And in case you have any specific topic, please feel free to message us or leave in the comments. We will pick it up in our planning and get back to you. Another question: where the team is from? So maybe I can take that question on my
Yeah.
own. We don't need expert for that. We are a global team. Currently, me and Prabhat, we are in Netherlands. Our core team members are from USA, UAE, India, of course, and we are also having members in Switzerland and UK. And we are rapidly growing. So, in case you are keen to join this revolution, feel free to leave a comment or reach us on LinkedIn. We will certainly connect with you to explore the possibilities and would be definitely looking forward to bring you on the board. Yes. Uh, More
Wonderful.
questions. I think one question came from Arun.
Hmm.
Uh, is this the same principle used by Notebook LM to use knowledge stack uploaded? What is the difference, what you just did in the demo versus what Google Notebook LM does?
It's exactly the same, just that the model is different, and the integration could be more out of the box. So Google uses Gemini model, right, for its flagship model, and the same Gemini model, they make it open source. Of course, there's some changes. I don't know what are those because that's never made public. That is it different, but what is publicized is the open source model. Kema is basically equivalent to Gemini. Okay, so the model itself is same or similar, but the integration is different, and that Gemini model also has various sizes. So the one that Google use perhaps is a bit more sizable because they use it in multi-tenant setup of one single model, which many people or many companies are making use of at same point in time.
Thanks, Prabhat, for explanation. With that, I hand it over back to you to
Thank
continue
you.
with your flow.
Okay, let's get moving. We have got much more interesting stuff coming. So, there's another thing on Msty that I find it very interesting is a prompt library and role play, and that could be very handy for some of us who wanna who work in a specific space or a specific kind of work. For example, someone is a doctor, or someone is an advocate, and the advocate is always working in certain kind of questions, and he has established his context that, hey, I want you to work as an advocate or assistant of an advocate, and working in Indian ecosystem and whatnot. Okay, so those guidances could be very handy. And what I love in Meshti is this thing, prompt library. Okay, this is a good start for those who are new in this space, and there are some really nice ones for even babysitter. So I want you to act as a babysitter. You will be responsible for supervising my young children and not. And then based on that, you need to so based on it, you need to answer some questions as if you are a babysitter. Okay. Similarly, there are more. So let's say I this chief executive officer as well, and many more. But let's pick up one of them. And I'm just thinking, for example, let's pick up doctor. Okay, and I want you to act as a doctor now, and come up with creative treatment for illness or diseases. You should be able to recommend conventional medicines, herbal remedies, and so on. Okay, let's say I pick this up as a prompt, and what I can do is uh, I pick this one. One option is I I put this information and I say that I am having headache. I add next to it that my problem, and then tell me the remedies, something like that. Okay, and I get some response. For example. Uh, So it starts saying that as a doctor, I would like to start saying by saying that if you are experiencing persistent or severe headache, it's essential to conduct consult with your primary care physician to rule out any underlying conventional medicines are these ones. And then herbal remedies, it talks about, then it goes into natural alternatives and so on. So that's one way of doing it, that you put this whole prompt and next to it you added question. But think of it, you want to do that daily. You created something like this for your living, okay? And all the time you want to make use of. Then there's another interesting thing that you can do. And let's say I start a new chat. I can do here also. Actually, I can do here. So there's something called model instruction. Okay. So what you can do, you put that same information which we gave there here. I want you to act as a doctor. So now what will happen? This model Whatever chat you do, it will remember this, that this is its persona. And now if I ask that, hey, I have stomach pain, and then you don't need to provide that context. It starts working in that setup, okay? Because it knows that it is a doctor. So that's the quick one on prompt library and role play. You can make it much more nicer. There's enormous possibilities that you can do with. Okay. With that, we conclude our Msty demo, and let's move on to LM Studio, which is yet another thing that we wanted to show on how you can run local AI model. And this is another offering similar but different. Okay. And I will explain why it is different and why we still show it. If we got Msty, which can do most of the things, why do I even need to know? Okay. So let's see. And I will skip just this one. It tries to show the website from where you can download this. So why LM Studio and what is it different for? Okay. So it is having some overlaps with what Ollama does and what Msty does, but it also has some really interesting features. So I thought to show in this forum, for some of you, it could be much more nicer. So it integrates directly with Hugging Face models as well. And Hugging Face, for the starters, next to Ollama, this Hugging Face is another actually much bigger provider of models. So it accumulates and it makes all foundational models available. So it integrates directly. It supports various model backends. So unlike Ollama, which is much more simplistic for those people who like more complex environments, from there also it can make use of. And so similar to Ollama, which exposes an API. It also exposes an API. Msty does not expose any API. So Msty is really for people who want to make use of the model for their local work on their laptop. But there are applications that are developed. We talked about certain applications, right? The app for education and many other things. They require an API. They connect with a local model. They require some programming to be done. To do that, you need some under the hood and API and those things. So here LM Studio tries to bring that mixture. So it is not just a user interface, it also includes some features of Ollama. Okay. And and then it's cross-platform and offers developer-oriented features. That's okay. Pretty much similar to Msty. Okay. So it is more than just GUI. It's not just like a user interface. It is under the hood the entire toolkit. Okay. There's also another very important thing with LM Studio is very simplistic in certain manners. So while in Msty you can do comparison and those things in LM Studio, you shall see it more as local chat GPT. Okay. It's not that complicated. It's very simplistic in look, but it does its job. But it does not allow you to build those knowledge assistant. It does not allow you to do many more things that Msty does. But it allows you to to do a pure play prompt engineering, pure play connecting with model and exploring certain things. Okay. It also has one thing very interesting, because in the beginning when LM Studio was created, it was created with the idea of providing a test environment for prompts. So you can write a prompt and then you can edit in between, you can move to next step. I will show you how it works, okay, later on. So it's basically offline chat GPT, not as rich as Msty from the perspective of end user. However, it focuses more on if you fire one query or one question to a model, uh, how good the response is, how much energy it is taking, all those kind of aspect it focuses a lot. Okay. So let's do without any delay, let's get to demo for LM Studio and we'll keep it quick for LM Studio. Let's see. Yeah. So this is the user interface for LM Studio. Somewhat similar, perhaps for some of you. But unlike Msty, you don't see a lot of things. All that you see is basically here four windows. One is for chat. Here you can chat. You can choose which model you are doing chat with. You choose it on top, which model. But what different you see here is that you can get the models. You can directly download models, and they will not go to Ollama. They will be installed as part of LM Studio. So LM Studio is also having that own executable for the model. Okay, that's where it is different. Then you got on the left some. It's because it has got its own server where it runs the model, right? So it also need to, unlike Ollama, where we were instantiating Ollama and then running Msty, here you need to run this same server, that LM Studio server. And you see LM Studio has all these APIs that can be called. Okay. And then we got some folders. Folders are nothing but it's trying to show all the models that are there. And by default, it comes with one model, Kema 3N, wonderful model. If you are going to make use of on-premise model, this is one of the most popular model for edge devices. And from Google, very powerful, very accurate. And GPT OSS is basically Chat GPT. So if you get this GPT OSS on LM Studio, you have got your own Chat GPT local on your laptop. Okay. And this model is available in bigger size, but for that we require much more high capacity laptop, which I don't have it. So and then the fourth one is just trying to show all the list of models that's there. So now go back to the chat window and then we start trying to see something. For example, I was writing a kind of a simple prompt. I'm trying to write, let's say, I wrote something. Write a short biography of a technocrat coming from a humble background in Chapra, Bihar. I was trying to brag about myself a little bit, and then I was creating something of this. So let's say if I ask this, okay, and and then it will be similar to any other chat window or similar to Misty. So the answer itself is not very fascinating or not something that I want to show you explicitly here. What I want to show you as part of this thing are these information. So you see at the bottom, it has a number of tokens. It took 481 tokens. And what is tokens? That's a interesting topic. Tokens is basically it's a unit in which all communication with models happen. Okay, and one token you can consider at four letters. Okay, something like that. uh, and how much time it is taking, and all this information. It gives you also very closer possibility to tune it, the model. That temperature is a parameter with which you can make the model much more creative or much more specific, those kind of things. So these are the major capabilities of LM Studio. There's another thing, okay, that you want to do. Let's say you are testing your model and you are trying to write a flow of all the prompts and the user response that you, sorry, assistant response that you are getting. and in between you want to add certain highlights or certain comments, okay, the way you write it in Python program or some other places. So let's say I write this is a comment that the response is uh, very elaborate, okay. Let's say this is a finding that you did with the model response, and you just want it to be kept there, not to run. Okay, then you can say that this is as user, and I click insert. Now what it did, it just inserted, and it did not run this thing. So you can create a whole chain of the workflow, and for measuring performance of your prompt, and later on you can use it for building your actual application, because you understand the chain of processes and how much tokens and how much capacity it is taking. So that's about the LM Studio demo. We'll keep it short. If there are more interest, then please let us know over the comments, and we can always do deep dive with it. I wanted to show you so that you are aware of LM Studio, and for some of you, it could be very interesting to make use of. With that, we come to an interesting question. I hope this session gave some inspiration to you, and some information. So when will you try this on your laptop? That's the question. Um, will it be today, this month, this week? Or do you think, nay, this is not sufficient? Only after I get more help, then I gonna start. Looking at the comments, if there are some. And meanwhile, people respond. I see a good question from Vinay Mazoria, that is LM Studio free version? If yes, how many requests we can use? Same as ChatGPT. Wonderful question. That's the beauty of the local models. No limitation, literally no limitation. You can do whatever you want. This is your space. You don't have to pay anything, not a penny. Okay. And as long as your model is local, you just use it as much as you can. Uh, no cost involved. Uh, with that, let's move on. And there's another question. If you want a step-by-step guide, just give it a thumbs up in the chat, and we will make the whole command set that we used for installing and setting up the prompts to you. And there's one last thing I wanted to show. Uh, while I know we are a little bit tight on time, but we'll spend just a couple of minutes to show something, and then that I will hand it over to you, Manish. Is how to call Ollama APIs from code, uh, which is very interesting for some of the developers. So let's make it very simple. How to call Ollama APIs from code. And what I'm gonna do for that is just a second. Let's say I got terminal and this green screen, which I did not show today so far. It's time for a green screen now. Let's do a bit. Last time I was not able to zoom, but I improvised, guys. I learned how to zoom it. So now it's bigger. And what I'm gonna do very quickly is that I wanna show how people run it with their from their application. How do they use these models? That's the idea of this very short demo. Uh, so what I'm gonna do, I will install a notebook. Those who don't know, it just the Jupyter notebook. That's a user interface on the browser to run Python commands very quickly. Okay, so and then I will open one of the notebook. When I do this, a web page opens, and that comes here. This is what opened after I ran that page, and I've already written that command. So I want to show you what I've written. Actually, I've also run just before this meeting. I was prepping for it. So all that you do is import request, import JSON, and this is the API at which the Ollama server is responding. And here we say that define a simple prompt. In the data, we say that my model is schema 312b. I could write any other which I wanted. And I said that this is the prompt. I want to write that, hey, create a short introduction message starting hello world to show you are ready to assist. Okay. And I collect the response which I received from Ollama API URL if I post. Okay. So when I post this information, this data with the model name and prompt, in return I get something, and that return is collected in this variable called response. And then what I do in the next part of the code, I just print it out, the response that I receive from there. Okay, this is the simplest setup to just show how model runs programmatically. And when you see complex apps, whether on your mobile or anywhere else, they all basically work something like this, wherein they call a model. And when you hear in this space and inference with the model, basically in place of running this local model, now you see is localhost 11434, you use OpenAI API. Okay. In this case, run as much as you want free of cost. Build a strong solutions, powerful solution, zero cost. With that, we reach to the end. And before I hand over, I will hand over with one last question. And I look for the interesting responses. What surprised you the most about what local AI can do? And over to you, Manish.
AI, many aspects, right? I would like
Mhm.
to hear from our audience as well. For me, ability to bring the knowledge at your fingertips, that's the biggest barrier AI is breaking, right? And
Yeah.
that's something I really love about it. I use it every day, learn new things, and update myself. Yeah. Any
Yeah.
questions from last where we left? I think there is a one question, which is the best model, which can be used by software professionals for their work. I think
um,
very close to you.
yeah, that's the most difficult one as well. And it's 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 really on the context that you can really say what is the best model. Uh, because and these models are evolving very quickly. So at the moment, those people who do programming, the Cloud A from Anthropic, that one is considered to be performing the best for coding. Okay. When it comes to more creative space or making a companion or assistant, then benchmarking whether the model from Google is better or the model from Facebook is better or the one from Grok is better or ChatGPT, OpenAI is really challenging. They all are very close by, and I really suggest people not to pay a lot of attention on these. They are more on the hype side of things. focus more on pick up any one of those. They all are very strongly performant. Okay. uh, Often, if you use for your purpose, you need to give some additional context, and that is the bigger part. How do you make your context available there? How do you make it know? uh, that's how I would say to pick it up.
Clear. So in short, don't to go into too much comparison,
Yep.
but start using one and prepare in a way that you can contextualize. Maybe prompt engineering is the area you are hinting,
Yeah.
and sure that you leverage the model at the max.
Yeah,
Thanks,
and there's
Prabhat.
another thing maybe to just to add is uh, there's uh, there's many specialized models as well. You will be surprised and amazed by seeing that. For example, if you search and this is just one place to search, what people often do that they make use of these open source model and they add their context. Some of them make it open source, so it's still that same llama 3 or llama 4, the one from Facebook, for example, which is the most popular among open source model in, at least in the western world. So they pick llama model and they added, let's say, healthcare information, and here comes a Medi chat llama 3. Okay, it's a individual user or a group, I don't know, it could be a company behind it as well, but they create something of that sort. Okay, so be mindful as well that there are some specialization of these open
Specialized
source
one. Yeah,
models.
clear. Very good insight. This is new information, certainly, for most of us.
Yeah.
Um, just looking at time, moving to the next question. Is LM Studio version you use is a free version? And if yes, how many requests
Yeah,
it
so we covered this earlier, and this is free, unlimited, use as much as you want, zero cost.
zero cost? Nice, super. So I think these are the questions. One of the comments Jayant left is he was really positively surprised if these AI models are running locally without even connecting to internet. So really powerful tool in our hands, and also democratizing these AI models. No dependencies on big vendors or providers. So really exciting. And when I say
That,
word
that- that's
exciting,
a that's that's a very strong closing, Manish, because also that's why I'm so bullish around these open source models, and I always talk about it. That majority of our use cases, if you leave aside our personal productivity thing, certain things that I'm not doing anything in carpentry, but today I'm interested to know something about carpentry. Okay, that's because a interest came to me, for example. For that, perhaps ChatGPT is very nice for me as my companion because it's a space which I don't know. But if you look at businesses, they work in fixed space. They know a bank does bank. It does not start making toys, right? Tomorrow. It doesn't start making rockets. So it needs to know how does banking work? What are the regulations? How do we do the lending? That's what it needs to know. Uh, and then I it can do wonders if I just pick up certain models which knows very well with banking functions. Okay, and uh, and that's the democratization that we are looking at with these open source models. That you can do many a huge percentage of work without needing large scale models.
thanks Prabhat for insights. Coming to Q&A, anyone want to put more questions, feel free, and also connect to us on LinkedIn. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for such useful and knowledgeable information. We are active on social media as well, so no bother. You can reach us on any of them. An exciting announcement coming this way. We are bringing a creative side of AI models as well. Our colleague and co-founder Oscar Sanchez is bringing deep insights from using Sora 2 model for generating videos and graphics, media from using these AI tools. And I think this is very much in demand. We heard that Sora 2 demand in last 2 weeks has been crazy, and this session is going to be very interesting, guys. Uh, Everyone in creative industry is gonna leverage AI tools one on other way. So feel free if you're excited about this part. You have learned the knowledge part of it. Now you are going to leverage the creative part of it. So tune in same time tomorrow, next week, same time Saturday next week. This session will be live, and this is a great opportunity. So don't miss, and also inform your colleagues, friends, people in wider network who would like to create their career by using or applying AI. This can be a starting point. Yeah. With that note, I take a pause and would like to thank each one of you. Wish you all a nice evening, afternoon, day, and do let us know how do you find these sessions. And thank you all for joining today.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Manish. See you. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Prabhat.